Hello, the people of YouTube. Alright, so today I'm going to be drawing y'all a rib cage, and what I did ahead of time was I went ahead and did the rough pencil sketch. And the reason I did that ahead of time was because I figured if I drew it while recording, this part eventually would have taken up half of the video. So this is hopefully the only one I do this way, and then the next one will just go back to the usual format of drawing the rough pencil sketch and going with it. But if y'all do want to see this process going forward, let me know in the comments, and I'll try my best to make the video where it's not too long. You actually get to learn something along the way. So in this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start directly with the inking. So what I've got ahead and done is this is the rough pencil layer over here, and then I made a new layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the vector brush, and for this one I'm going to be using this shade of blue, which I don't know if you can see it on the well, where y'all are looking from, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using these blues to color this one. So let's begin with the inking, and we'll start with that. So what you guys been up to? For me, it's just making these videos and talking to you all. So I'm going to start with the ink pen, and I'm going to use what I told you all is the variation of the line art. This gives it more of that less of a digital look, and more of that nice different line, what do you call it, the weight of the line. That's what I was trying to go. So I started off with the thin part of it, and I pushed down the pen so that it would give it this nice textured look. And then I'm gonna work with this and with this technique and do the rest of the line work. So the thing, what is most interesting, what I like about drawing this particular bone of the body is it's got so many different angles that go on where it comes for the actual ribs. And then you know how it starts from this particular point and it curves, and then the next one curves. It almost reminds me of looking at a roller coaster ride. Have you ever been on any roller coaster rides that you'll have enjoyed or been excited to get on? In Kuwait, when I lived back there was this place called the Entertainment City, and we used to go on a roller coaster rides in that particular place. It's kind of like if you live in the US, it's kind of resembles the place like Six Flags, and they've got all these different rides that you can buy a ticket to at the entrance, and then you're able to go ride all the different rides at the theme park. But yeah, that's what my thought process is when I draw the rib cage. And my plan is to, at the end of all these drawings, what I've done with the skull head and the hand and the backbone, is I plan to combine all of them and see if I can make it a unique kind of a creature, and kind of relive and redo that project what I talked about in earlier videos about the anatomy class that I'd taken when I was in college. And I want to see what I can come up with, and maybe y'all can comment below what y'all would like to see, and then maybe based on what y'all comment or like or whatever, I'll try to incorporate that into I have a creature in mind that I would like to create from all the bones that I've drawn, but I want to see what is it y'all have in mind, what y'all were thinking about, and make it, because I mean there's so many possibilities. I mean when you take the rib cage, the hands, the skull bones, and there is this one artist that I'd found on Instagram that draws these little what do you want to call it, rooms, and what he does is his name is, I'm trying to remember what the name of the account is, Jazz Arts. So what the guy does is he makes these fantasy type of room drawings, and clients pay him to it's mostly, his art is mostly like couple related drawing, and he recreates these rooms and ideas that they want. And one of his particular one that he's illustrated that I really love is called Rainy Nights, where he illustrated this couple sitting on the sofa in the living room, and the whole concept of the art piece was the big French windows that the living room had, and then you could see like the nice rainy looking night theme, where, you know, like if you were to look outside your window and look at the sky, it had this nice darkish blue, kind of like a hazy look, but it was very well done, and he illustrates in Procreate. So that's something I would like to do with my skeleton art, is see if I can put the skeleton creatures into kind of like an environment, and kind of like do you know, a drawing session with you guys, like show y'all what my thought process is, and see where that goes. The next one that I'm thinking about doing is, and this is going to be coming like it's like just a sneak peek I'm telling you guys, is I'm going to be using different objects that we use in daily life and converting them into skeletons or skulls, and hopefully that will be a nice fun project. Y'all can draw along with me, and maybe y'all can make up your own creations, and maybe tag me on Instagram, and maybe I'll look at them and see what is it that you guys are creating too. That's the best part about art, is I mean there's so much storytelling you can do when it comes to it, and so much other things that when I say things, I mean there's so much what I'm trying to forget what I was trying to say, is my trail of thought, it keeps running at like 100 miles an hour, is there's so many objects you can pick and recreate and do. I mean it's really endless. Has there been anything unique that you guys have drawn? Like as I said earlier, like in the project that I did in the anatomy class was cool. So has there been anything that you all have done as a project that you all thought was really cool and maybe wanted to recreate it again? This is what I've done so far, is as I said, I did the line work and gave it this varying thickness to get the bones done, and I'm gonna finish the rest of it this way, and then possibly work on the details. That's another part about the art that is fun, which really brings the artwork to life, is giving it detail. Is because I mean you could just draw like just the line work, but if you don't put in any detail, it just looks flat. So that's another thing I've been playing around with, is using this different line work. And what I mean by line work is like now the pen is set at 10, and then sometimes I bump it up to 20 and then a 30, and then see what is the difference. I think in the last project what I did, which was the foot, I did the whole project in a 20 brush setting, and see how that came out. So I'm gonna finish the rest of this line work, and I will check back with you again in another few minutes to show you what is it I did. I mean, unless y'all want to see this, and let me know, because I know the 30 to 40 minute video mark is long, but it's kind of hard to really edit way too much out, because if you edit too much out, I mean, there's really nothing to work with. So let me finish this, and maybe on this video, like how I did the rough artwork, I'll come back and show you how it is I give details to the art once I do the line work. So let me finish this line work, and then I'll come back and I'll show you all how I do the detailing part of it. Alright guys, so I'm back, and this is what I ended up doing with the line work. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you all how I do the giving the details to this rib cage, and let me see what we can do over here. So I'm going to start out with this section over here and slowly work our way down to it. There's another things I added is these two little notches over here were not there. Let's make that a little big. So we're not there, so I'm going to add some depth to that and give that a new look, and then we'll see what else I want to add. Okay, so let's begin over here. So I'm going to start with this really thin line. Push down the pen, give it a increase that a little bit. There's one line. Then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So earlier on, what I forgot to mention was when I started recording the video is I want to say a thumbs up to some new followers that just started joining my channel, or decided to be interested, I guess, in what I had to show. So thank you to the people out there, whoever y'all are, and I hope I can provide some value to y'all, teach y'all more about art, what I know, and go from there. So when I started this art journey, or coming back into the art, or starting it back up back in 2018, I had really no idea as to what is it I wanted to draw. I mean, I always knew I loved drawing, and I think drawing, just like any other skill, is if you do not keep up with it and practice it, eventually it you can tell if you pick up the pen and paper and start to draw, and like if this has been like years before you did this, you can definitely tell there's a difference in somebody that obviously does it on a daily basis and then somebody who just does it every now and then. So when I first began to, or started to draw right back up again in 2018, I used to turn on YouTube and look for like the videos that I started watching originally were on this channel called Peter Draws, and what I liked about his channel was the fact that he started his YouTube journey and while recording his art, and his art is basically doodle art. And what is cool about that art is you don't really have to have any thought process as to what you're going to create. I mean, you just create whatever is in your mind at that time and just let it out on paper, So he is the person I guess I would have to credit to getting the art juices in the head turning. And from there I started doodling to begin with back in 2018, and maybe in a later video I'll kind of show you guys what is it I first started drawing before I decided I wanted to do skeleton art. And that brings me to my next channel, and if anybody out there in the art world knows, is this channel is name is 1000. This channel, when I first found the very first video on this channel, the things that really got me interested in the channel is this artist's use of color. I mean, he just uses all the spectrums of color that are out there. It's just beautiful to see what you can do with the different colors. And like for me, prior to starting art back up, I used to draw, but color was definitely not the thing I ever used in my art. It was just pretty much just black Bic pens and paper. After seeing his work and seeing the color that he uses, I mean, like, it definitely got the the color part of the brain activated, and I wanted to see what type of color I could infuse to my art, see where it goes. So with that being said, watching his videos and doodling at the same time with the other channels playing in the background, I started doodling. And then over a period of time of doodling, I slowly noticed that the doodles originally, when I first started creating the doodles, were just random stuff, and then slowly but steadily I started putting bones in them, and I started experimenting with different shapes. But somehow, if you look through my artwork, it always had that I think I want to say like the skeleton vibes coming out, but I didn't really think too much of it back then. So as the time continued on and I kept on drawing, I knew I liked drawing skeletons, but then I wanted to do something and create something that might be something new, at least that I didn't know if it was already there out at the time. So what I wanted to do is create artwork with the skeletons in mind and tell a story. When I started this journey back in 2018, what I liked the most is, I think as I was watching YouTube videos as usual, I happened to stumble upon a documentary for the Day of the Dead. I heard about the story and what the Day of the Dead is, and not the story but pretty much celebration on YouTube, and I found the various different celebration, or the celebration that they do and the prepping work that they do for the ceremony, and how the family members decorate themselves, and the altars, what they call ofrendas. And when I seen that, I was like, you know what, I wanted to draw skeletons with that same style, but I want this time, or not this time, but when I did start it, I wanted to do something that had some sort of background with India, and not just India but different parts of the world. So before I even decided to create skeletons in that nature, I wanted to kind of look up on Google, like with search words and keywords, to see if there was anything out there that already did exist, or if there was an artist that was already making that. And that's how I stumbled upon this artist called David Lozo. So he's an artist based out in Fallbrook, the California area, and his art is what started the whole thing, and looking at his art is what got me interested into actually committing to actually starting the skeleton art. So basically his work is pretty much inspired also by the Day of the Dead, but what he does is, in his artwork, is he draws or creates the skeletons in a type of form, like as if it were a picture that were taken at that moment. So as an example, is one of his pieces that I like is he draws this lady doing a barbecue session, and there's a guy obviously that's cooking and helping her cook in the background. But the cool part about the barbecue session, what she was having or organizing in the art piece, was I think it was like a used furnace. And then when I found that piece and I started looking up, I typed his name in, and then I was like, oh wow, there's like a whole bunch of his art that shows up on Google. In my mind, I was like, alright, so there is somebody out there that makes art in the Day of the Dead style. But what I was lucky enough to find, or rather not find, is nobody was out there that was creating art with the Day of the Dead type of style with the influence of India. Maybe in later pieces, or not pieces, but in later videos, I will definitely show you guys what I'm talking about right now. And maybe I will show it to you in the form of, I don't know, maybe I'll kind of like show you the images and the drawings that I have done of this type of art, and then y'all can give me your feedback as to what you think. At the moment, the feedback that I got or received was from a business owner that conducts these kind of art exhibitions at his restaurants. And what they do is they have this yearly art exhibition that they do have, and I guess mine artwork, what I created at the time, he kind of was really drawn to it, the fact that I used two different cultures and combined them and made them one. So at least that was a boost of confidence for me to know that, you know, there is somebody out there that might like this art. What I was saying is, when I decided to come on to YouTube at first, originally, if you look back to my older videos, it was just, like not really well thought out videos. It was just throwing up speed drawings that were from Procreate on things that I have drawn, and then, just finding some non-copyrighted music to go along with it. It was not really well thought out. I was like, YouTube, so I'm just going to throw something on there and see what happens. But now in these recent months, I've actually decided to actually take this seriously and see what is it that I can contribute to this channel and see what I can get back. Hopefully it's something positive that I can help people that are looking to draw, and I can show them that, and through the videos obviously, that it's not difficult to learn how to draw. Anybody can do it. It's just that you got to put in the time. And when I say anybody can do it, I just think of it as the clear-cut example is trucking for me. At least that's what I can relate to. So when I first decided to go to trucking school, trucking was not something that was on my radar of things to do. But because it had the element of travel and being able to see different parts of the US, that's what kind of got me intrigued in trucking. And with that being said, let me share with you my first ever, I don't know if you want to call this as an experience, but it was the first time as a team truck driver that I teamed up with my third teammate. It was my turn to pick up the next load. What ended up happening was I got the message on our Qualcomm at the dispatch stating, that there was our next load and I had to go pick it up. And, like usual, I wrote down everything that needed to be written down, and I proceeded to the drop lot. And the time of day when I was doing this pickup ended up being 2 in the morning. And I'm usually awake pretty much at that time because I've always been like a night person. So I go to the drop lot like my usual any other days as a pickup, and the trailer that I was supposed to pick up is TA 90614. Now this is the trailer that I was supposed to pick up, but then when I ended up hooking up to the trailer, for some reason my brain reversed that number and seen the number this way as 41609. But that's not where the problem happened. So, as anything, I picked up the trailer and, did all my checks that had to be done before I picked it up and headed down the road. After, I think, a few hours of going down the road, like my clock was winding down and I had to stop. So I stopped and my teammate got out, or was awake, and took over. And I think it was maybe an hour or two after he took over. I think it was coming close to his 30-minute break, and it was not an hour, maybe it must have been a few hours after he was driving. So he got a message, I think, on the Qualcomm, and that's how our dispatch used to communicate with us for anything. And our dispatch, they were called DBLs at the time, so I don't know what they're called now, but anyway, she called him up and she was like, hey, the trailer that y'all have picked up, can you check the number on it? And or actually what she did ask him was, who ended up picking up the trailer? And he was like, oh yeah, Wolf ended up picking up the trailer. And she's like, can you double check the number on the trailer? And he's like, oh no. And she's like, what? And he's like, I see the mistake. And sure as hell, I picked up the wrong trailer. And by this time we were like about, I want to say like 6 hours away from where we had picked up the trailer. And I happened to be awake at the time when all this conversation was happening, and I was like, oh man, what a bunch of crap. So anyway, I woke up, and after I came through the curtains, he's like, hey Wolf, he's like, do you know you picked up the wrong trailer? I was like, yeah, I kind of just heard the conversation between you and Laura. And the plus side to the story was this trailer was headed to Texas, and that the original trailer that I was headed to was also headed to Texas. And come to see it, the trailer that we ended up picking up was going to Garland, Texas, and the trailer that we were supposed to get was supposed to go to Dallas, Texas. So the other team drivers ended up getting the wrong trailer because I picked up the wrong trailer. But on the flip side of that is, after we delivered this load and everything, we ended up getting a nice big long run from Texas out to California. So for any of you new team drivers out there that are going to hook up to a trailer, always make sure you got the right trailer number before you hook up to it and before you head out the gate. So yeah, so that is my little oopsie story about hooking up to a wrong trailer and driving it miles and miles down the road before you realize it is the wrong trailer. So this is what I've got so far on the shading, and I think what I'm going to do in this part is I'm going to maybe duplicate this. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use the selection tool, select that over there like that, duplicate selection, and then I'm going to turn down the opacity and then use the selection tool and then just move it to about there. Once I do that, I'm going to select the layer I'm on and then just copy this line, copy over this line to give it that depth. And then what I'll do after that is I'm just gonna delete this lower line, and then just like that we have created the illusion that there's more space or depth in the drawing even when there is not. So So have you guys had any moments at your workplace where you've done something silly like that? I know this is not silly, but luckily it ended up being in our favor. So which I'm kind of glad to. Is now the thing I think this is my mistake from that situation, is I chose to read the trailer number. For some reason I chose to read it while I was inside the truck, and obviously I got out of the trailer when I was hooking up, and I don't know for some reason why I didn't catch it right then. And but yeah, that was my first and that was my last trailer that I ever picked up the wrong trailer. After that, I just always triple checked to make sure that I was hooked up to the correct trailer. And the thing, what I remember now, is whenever we went to an operations center to pick up a trailer, the similar situation is there would be like a second line of what do you want to call it, is somebody there to double check if you've got the actual correct trailer. Because what ended up happening is when you would go to the gate to leave, there was a camera that was focused on the trailer, and then also while you told your driver's number, they would double check that, and they were able to check on their computer on the dispatch screen, or not dispatch, but on the people sitting on the inside. They were able to see if you had the correct trailer, and if you didn't, you could easily fix it about and just turn around and go correct it, and not head miles and miles down the road before you found out that you had a wrong trailer. But yeah, that is my story of the wrong trailer. Again, I think we all have moments like that in life where you have that oopsie moment and you're like, I wish you could correct it. So hopefully I don't make any more big mistakes like that. But yes, that is my story again. I don't know why I repeated it to you guys twice on camera, but I'm sure I'll tell you all some more stories of me being a truck driver going down the road. I have a whole list. Yeah, actually, wait, I'll show you guys real quick. So if you go to notes, this is my whole list of things that I would like to talk to you all about in the videos to come. I have about 37 or 36, but we'll come to that eventually. But it's a good idea. That's my way of figuring out ideas to come up for these videos for YouTube. I mean, it's not just about the art. The art is there because obviously it's fun creating the art, but sometimes you need something to talk about while creating art. I mean, you can always talk about how you created it and what you did and all that, but I think these unique stories is what sets it apart. And I don't know if there is another artist out here on YouTube that also has a trucking background. If there is, leave me a comment below, because I would love to connect with anybody that's an artist and has some trucking knowledge and something to share. But let me finish off with this shading, and not the shading, I mean, let me finish off with this detail stuff, and then I will see y'all back again for the color part of it. So this is what I've done so far, and I'm gonna work with this, and it's already up to 25 minutes of recording, so hopefully it doesn't shut off. But let me finish this, and then I will see y'all back again for the color part of it. Okay, so I'm back from what I last did, and I just realized when I looked at the footage that I did record, it was already up to 37 minutes and about 50 seconds. So I made the decision to just continue coloring this off camera, and I'll tell you exactly what I did. So pretty much these are the colors that I did choose, which is the very light blue, or like almost like a white, then there's a sky blue, and then there are these different shades of blue. And then to give it a little bit of a change, I chose the like a mango kind of a yellow, an off-white, and then kind of like almost like an orange, tangerine kind of orange, to add colors to the inside of the skull. I mean, not the skull, the rib cage. The other different thing that I did do was I did these leaves with the twine look, and this time around I used the selection tool and made a little bit of a selection on each leaf and deleted it, so it kind of gave the leaf like a different look, and did the shading with all those colors. So that's how many colors I did use, and yeah, I think that's about it. So my plan for the next video is I was going to do a pelvic bone, but I don't know, I kind of feel it might get a little bit boring. So what I am going to do is with all these bones that I've drawn, whether it be this one, the foot, the backbone, the hand, and the skull, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can convert those very drawings into something of like a noticeable object. It's not going to be like a cold coloring video. It's just going to be like a fun video to see what is it you can actually convert those different skull, not different skull, no, I keep saying skulls, the different bones of the body, and see if I can make it. I mean, I already have like an idea for what I would do for the rib cage. I kind of have an idea for what I would do for the foot, but I'm gonna do it, record it as I do it in the next video. We'll have some fun with that. So I guess I'll sign off with this one by keep saying my usual thing, which is keep creating, keep drawing. I'll see y'all down the road or on the other side. Bye for now.